Fred MacGuffin reviews. He reviews Alone in the Dark from 1982. This is brought to us by Jack Shoulder, director and writer, one of the writers. And he's also directed A Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, The Hidden. The Hidden, check The Hidden out. It's a very good sci-fi invasion of the body snatchers type movie. Renegades, The Wishmaster 2, and Arachnid. And this is produced by Robert Shea, who also produced and executive produced a lot of all of the Nightmare on Elm Street movies, and two of the Critters movies, and Lord of the Rings, just to name but a few. So a very successful producer on this. And yeah, we've got an all-star, we've got a great cast, an all-star cast. We've got a brilliant cast. We have Jack Palance, who plays Frank Hawks. He's one of our lunatics. Basically, what we have here is lunatics escaping from a mental institution, and they are psychopaths. They are delusional. They're dangerous. One of them is Jack Palance, and he plays Frank Hawks, as I said. We have Martin Landau. He plays Byron the Preacher Sutcliffe. We have Erland van Lilt, and he plays Ronald Estler. And so that's our three guys, but there's another one. There's four of them. Yeah, so this is, hold on, I'll just let you know, this is a spoiler review. So go and watch this on YouTube and come back to me. I think it's hard to find. This movie has, how would you say, gone under the radar for me. I've recently heard about it. I checked it out on YouTube. And it's a sort of it might be a guilty pleasure movie. It's a hidden gem. It's not talked about too much, and I think I know why. But it's very good. It's very good. It does keep you gripped. It's solid hour and a half of slasher, horror, and thriller. Now, what else do we have here? We have Philip Clark, who plays Tom Smith. He's our sort of secret fourth gang member, but he sort of just. I like the way he reveals himself during the movie. We don't see his identity, and he reveals himself, and I like that. Now we have Dwight Schultz plays Dr. Dan Potter. Now Dwight Schultz, you may have heard of. He was in the A-Team. He was in Star Trek: The Next Generation, a lot of TV, and he's also veered into video game. He does voiceovers on video games. He does characters on video games, and he's done a lot of that. And he's our psychiatrist that comes to this new mental institution. It's run by Donald Pleasance, who plays Dr. Leo Bain, and he's taken over from Harry Merton. And Harry Merton has gone to another job. But our four bad guys have their own sort of floor on this mental institution, and it's a third floor, and they can't get out. There's an electronic system where the doors don't open or the windows don't open, and if they approach the windows, a shutter comes down, so they can't get out, and it all depends on this electronic security system. And Donald Pleasance. You may have heard of Donald Pleasance because he was in a lot of the Halloween movies, and he's great. He was also in You Only Live Twice, The Great Escape, Wake in Fright, aka Outback, Prince of Darkness, Escape from New York. Of course, there's the John Carpenter connection there. Deathline, THX 1138, and Fantastic Boys. Now, Donald has 242 credits on IMDb. So, yeah, he's done a lot of work. And you can tell why, because he's pretty good, and he's pretty menacing in a lot of the things he does. You just don't know. I mean, even in Halloween, I know he's sort of the good guy, but you still have this feeling that is he really that good? But he plays the boss of the psychiatric hospital, and he's a very unique way of treating the patients, and you kind of feel that maybe he should be locked up there as well. He does. He's not the full shilling. And Martin Landau, another legend. He was in Ed Wood, North by Northwest, Tucker, The Man in His Dream, Entourage, the TV show, Space 1999, Mission Impossible TV series, Sleepy Hollow, and Meteor. And that's tip of the iceberg there. He's in a lot of great things as well. And who else do we have? Erland van Lith. He's our one of our bad guys as well, and he was in The Running Man, Stir Crazy, and The Wanderers. And he had a very short career. He didn't make many movies, and he died young. And yeah, so our four psychos, they want to take revenge on Dr. Potter if they can. So we have a blackout and a power cut, and that enables them to escape. And the first person they go after is a warden that works there, and he meets a grisly end by snapping his spine. So that's what you get here. Now, once these guys are out, they they escape in a van or a car, and they go to the nearest town. Which, because of this blackout, it looks like everyone has gone looting in the whole town, and they decide to steal weapons from a sporting goods shop. And our man Frank Hawks steals a crossbow, and Byron, he steals knives, and he also likes setting fire to things. He likes setting fire to churches, but he likes doing it when people are in them. So, and we have Deborah Headwall plays Nell Potter, Dan's wife. We have Lee Taylor Allen plays Tony Potter. That's Dan's sister, Dan Potter's sister. She comes for a visit. And we have Elizabeth Ward, who plays Lila Potter. And yeah, so we get a looting scene, which is very funny because I don't know if this happens in America. If the power goes out, people decide to go looting. So I don't know where the law is during this, but that's what happens. And oh yeah, this is a bit of trivia here. One of our bad guys, our mysterious bad guy, Tom Smith, he puts on a hockey mask for a little while and takes somebody out. So, is that paying homage to the Friday the 13th movies, or is this where Friday the 13th got that idea? Because this movie came out in 1982, and Friday the 13th Part 3, which is where Jason wears the hockey mask for the first time, came out in 1983, I think, as well. So let me know what you think. Is that just a sort of a gag, or was this the Psycho in this movie the first movie Psycho to wear a hockey mask? There you go. Okay, so then things wind down. We go to the next day, and Dan Potter finds out that these three guys have escaped, and there's been killings in the psychiatric hospital, and then we sort of go into the next day and night where they finally get to where. Oh yeah, this is another thing. One of the psychos gets the address of Dr. Potter, so they know where he lives, and that's where they're going. They're on their way to go and kill Dan and whoever's in the house. So then we move on to the next day and night. There's a scene where there's no one safe with these guys. We see them driving a van through the town, and there's a bike messenger minding his own business. but our gang won't leave him alone, and it, he's trying to get out of their ways. They're driving past in the van, and one of our guys gets road rage because the messenger shouts something at the van, and he decides to reverse into this poor bike messenger and sends him flying. Terrible. And so yeah, we get a lot of good stuff. We get Dr. Dan going to see a band, which has a very interesting name. And that oh yeah, he's there in this. He goes with his sister. His sister's into music, and she seems kind of she's had problems with mental health in the past, and but she seems to be better now. But she seems to be yeah, she's influenced by a band at the moment, and she wants to go to see this group. And the band are called The Sick, and it begins with F, and then there's four more letters, and it's a very unusual name for a band. And yeah, another little funny bit of trivia there. Wait till you watch it, you'll see. So we also got a scene in the house where one of our bad guys gets to Dr. Potter's home, and his daughter gets back, and there's a very unsettling scene between this bad guy and the daughter because the bad guy in question has been in trouble for child crimes, let's say, and that could be one of the reasons why this movie was. I don't know. It just feels like it's gone under the radar, but anyway, nothing. Luckily enough, nothing bad happens to Dr. Potter's daughter, uh, Lila, and but still, it's a pretty unnerving and horrific sort of scene. But it doesn't. Luckily enough, Lila's okay, thank goodness. And yeah, we get a siege movie. Then we have uh, police arriving because a baby. Oh yeah, we also have a babysitter arrive to look after Lila, but luckily Ronald is gone. Ronald is the guy in question, the bad guy in question, Ronald Elster, who's committed child crimes against children. And luckily enough, he's gone. But the babysitter's boyfriend arrives. And of course, with movies like this, you get babysitter, let's say, having relations with a boyfriend. And she goes missing. She doesn't go home because there's one of our crazy psychos under the bed. And the police arrive to Lila lets them know that there's been this stranger in her house, and the police arrives, and one of the police stays, and he has dinner with the family, and he goes outside because they hear a noise outside, and he gets skewered on a tree by I'd say it's by hawks because he has a crossbow. And yeah, we get scenes like that, and then we have a siege movie where we have the babysitter, we don't have the babysitter. We have Dan Potter and his sister, his wife, his daughter, and a new sort of oh yeah, the sister has brought back Tom Smith from the jail because she got arrested for going to a protest, and she meets Tom Smith in the prison or the jail, and she brings him home. So but he's really a psycho, and and she doesn't know that. So they're stuck in the house with the psycho as well. And we have Frank Hawks shooting crossbows in. We have our poor detective getting skewered on a tree, and we have our crazy preacher Byron setting fires in the basement, and yeah, we have all sorts going on here. They're trying to defend the house, defend themselves against these crazies, and yeah, this is pretty good. It's a pretty thrilling movie. It's worth a look. It's on YouTube. As I said, there's a great cast. The director, I've seen The Hidden, and it's very good. I didn't think much of Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2. He's also done the Wishmaster, Renegades, and Arachnid. So I might start checking more of his work out. But yeah, we get this really unusual ending where Hawks is the last man standing. He comes into the kitchen where they're all our survivors are located, and yeah, the power comes back on, and the television comes on, and Dr. Potter shows him that. Luckily enough, Harry Merton is being interviewed about the place he's working in, and people have escaped, and he's talking. He's talking to a news reporter about that, and Dr. Potter shows Hawks that. Oh yeah, Hawks is a he was a prisoner of war, so he's had a lot of trouble in his life, and he shows Hawks that Dr. Merton is alive, and Hawks calms down and drops his weapon and leaves the house. So we have our bad guy walking away into the night and meeting and going back to the what would you call it, venue where Dr. Potter and his sister went and his wife went to watch this band, The Sick. Ugh. And I can't say it. And he meets this spaced out girl, and she likes his gun, and she likes him, and it's like a romantic ending to this. It's not that they walk off into the sunset, but yeah, you can just picture the crazy sequel they could have had to this. Is Preacher alive? Is this could have been there could have been a great sequel here, but they didn't do it. So it's a standalone. It's never going to get a sequel, and we don't mind that because it's a really good. It's a really good horror movie, and yeah, what can I say? Check it out, discover it for yourself. It's not out in blue. I don't think it's out in Blu-ray in Europe, and but it's there on YouTube to check out, and it's really enjoyable. So I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5, and yeah, solid 4. This is nearly I'd nearly go over 4.5, but it's yeah, it's worth a watch if you like 80s horror. You're going to enjoy this, and slashers and bike messengers getting what they deserve. I know they don't. Bike messengers are nice. They're doing their job. Just can't be left alone by these crazies. Okay. Fred MacGuffin's Review. Alone in the dark. Ah!